Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I do a full set. So first I start off with prep by pushing the cuticles back. And I find that this is really good for getting all of the dead skin off of the nails. Next, I go in with my cuticle nippers and just take off all of the excess dead skin that's like hanging off of the nails. You want to make sure not to take off too much, but just, the excess that you, like all of the white that you can see around the nail there. Next, I go in with my favorite cuticle bit from Nail Couture, and it's the pink cuticle bit. This bit has totally changed the way that I do nails, and it makes it so that I'm not like cutting into your cuticle at all. And it's very gentle, and it removes a lot of the skin around the cuticle area. After that, I just want to gently remove the shine from the nail plate, making sure not to press down too hard into the cuticle area because we already used our pink cuticle bit. So we just want to gently remove the shine. My next step here is to put on the nail tips. And I like to use the clear stiletto nail tips from enailcouture.com because I find that it helps me shape the nails easier. I can really just cut off the tip of the nail and I can have already a coffin nail shape, and I just only have to do minimum filing. Also, with the nail tips from enailcouture.com, they are really thin, so you don't have to do a lot of blending. I mean, I do a little bit just like out of habit, but really you don't even have to blend these nail tips. And these are called the Russian stiletto tips. So I just apply a tiny dot of glue, and then I want to make sure to put the tips at the very edge of the nail. You don't want to put the tips too far on the nail plate. And you want to make sure that the tips fit from corner to corner of the nail. Not too big and not too small. All right, now I just ask the client how long they want their nails, and I just cut the nails down to the desired length. And then you can always compare the middle nail to the ring and the pointer finger to make sure that they're all the same length. The pinky nail and the thumb, you kind of have to eyeball it. But the other 3 fingers are really easy to compare the lengths. So now I'm just clipping the nails on the side because I want them to be a skinnier coffin rather than just a tapered square. And when you're clipping the sides of a coffin nail, you want to make sure that you use some clippers that have like a straight edge rather than curved, because if you use curved, then it will cause your shape of your coffin to be curved on the sides, and you definitely don't want that. Now I'm just going to shape up the sides and make sure that the nails are coming out straight from the nail bed. You want to try to make sure that the nails are like as snatched as possible on the sides. And then it's key to remember like what you do to one side of the nail, you want to do to the other side. That way you can keep the nails even. Now I'm just going to blend the nail tip just a little bit. Really doesn't take much because it's already pretty thin. Alright, now I'm going to apply the primer, and I also get this from nailcouture.com. I usually do a 1-bead method. Pretty much, I start off with like a big bead of acrylic, and then I just make sure that the sides, to keep control of the sides of the acrylic, that way it's not losing the shape of the nail. That's really important. And then I'll go back in sometimes and do like another ball for like the apex area. To just make sure that the nails are like nice and strong. I also learned that little trick of using my fingers to contour the sides. I learned that from Max Estrada to just keep the shape of the nails really nicely. when you're doing acrylic, you want to keep it in your mind to stay focused on the sides. So I usually do like side, side, middle. I usually focus that way, like side, side, middle. And then you always want to look from the side to see if your nail is even. If it's not even, then you can place a few little tiny balls to like make sure everything is nice and smooth like I am right here. All right, one more bead on the nail for the apex. Focus on the sides. And I use the finger technique again. Look at it from the side and make sure everything's smooth. Side, side, middle. Side, side, middle. Creating the apex right here. And I'm just checking the sides on all the nails just to make sure everything looks good. All right, now it's time to file. So I just want to make sure that I get the sides really good. And you can use your nail file to tap on the nails like I did a minute ago to see if they're dry enough to file, because you don't want to file them while they're still wet. When you file, you want to try to make sure that the nails are coming straight out from the nail bed and that they're straight on the sides. Okay, now I go back in with my cuticle bit, the same bit that I used for prep, And I just want to go around the cuticles to make sure that everything is smooth around the cuticle area. And it really just helps to get any acrylic that has gone onto the onto the cuticle area, to get that off. This also helps with not cutting people. So when I use the cuticle bit first, I don't have to go back in with my smoothing bit and like go deep into the cuticle area, and then that avoids cutting people. Now that I'm done with the cuticles, I go in with my smoothing bit and I just go across the nail evenly and make sure everything is smooth on the top of the nails. And you always want to feel the nail to make sure that there's no like lumps or unevenness. And as you can see, I don't have to focus on going around the cuticle area because I already used my cuticle bit. And you want to use the belly of the barrel for this part. Now you want to pull your client's hand around and look at it from the client point of view. So I do that, and I go with my file and just make sure everything looks straight from their point of view. And this step is definitely super important because I've had clients before that would tell me like, oh, this nail is not even, and I look at it like when it's just facing me and I'm like, the nail's totally even, and then when you pull it around to look at it from their point of view, it's like super crooked, and then I'm like, no honey, that your finger. I'm just kidding. But it's definitely an important step to do. Now I'm getting towards the end of the full set, and I want to make sure I go up underneath the nail to get any of the excess acrylic that may have fallen underneath there when I first applied the acrylic. And then you can also use this step to like straighten out the edges too if you want, like to get the shaping a little bit better. And the last important step before applying any polish or designs is to buff and smooth the nails out. So any part of the nail that you used the drill on or that you filed, you want to go in with the buffer and just make sure everything is nice and smooth. So that is going to conclude my video on how to do an acrylic full set. Thanks for watching.